Welcome to the Witchy Work Wishes podcast, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. Welcome to Witchy Work Wishes, and welcome to my fourth Yule episode. At this point, Yule and I are practically old drinking buddies, clinking our mugs together every December like, well, here we are. We made it around the sun again, didn't we? But that's the thing about this season. It never really shows up the same way twice. Every December carries its own flavor, its own texture, its own little whisper in the dark. It is like Yule has this personality that just kind of shifts each year. Sometimes it's like bold and fiery. Sometimes it is soft and nostalgic. Sometimes it's a little chaotic, but it is always magical. Before we dive into our Yule celebrations, I would love to share some things happening in my little corner of the world. Guess what? I got an egg. It finally happened. The very first egg from Hearth and Hen Ladies has arrived. And I am honestly just so over the moon about it. And I know the whole point of raising chickens is eventually getting eggs, right? That's the practical goal. But oh my goodness, when you are actually there, when you are checking the coop every day, when you've spent months caring for these little feathered souls, that first egg feels like a tiny miracle. You guys already know these 5 moon phase ladies aren't just egg producers. They are sweet little personalities. They are pets. They are quiet companions who have made themselves a part of the family in the most natural way. And every day they bring me so much joy. This soft, nurturing joy that, almost feels like medicine. They remind me to slow down, to be present, to find magic in the simplest, most ordinary moments. So, holding that very first egg in my hands felt like a blessing, like a milestone for sure. This tiny, perfect symbol of all of the love and patience and care poured into these little feathered ladies. And of course, I made a video about it. How could I not? If you want to watch, it is over in the Hearth and Hen section of Patreon. It was just, such a beautiful, heartwarming way to start December. And guess what? Since then, Miss Phoebe has laid 5 more eggs. Yes, Phoebe, not the 2 older girls, not my frizzled satins Maggie or Izzy. It is the all-white, full moon silky Miss Phoebe herself, proudly delivering eggs like she's been waiting for this moment all year. I'm hoping the other 4 are watching and taking notes. You guys, these eggs are tiny. Silky and satins don't lay big, grocery store type eggs. I'm guessing 2 of these adorable little treasures equal like 1 standard egg, probably. Anyways, plus these breeds aren't everyday egg layers. They are more like, I think, like 4 eggs a week kind of hens. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this month brings. But now I am just so excited and completely filled with joy. It is such a simple thing, but it has brought me so much magic and happiness. I'll say also with Hearth and Hen, our full moon book reading that happened a couple weeks ago, we did something a little different, something that absolutely filled my heart. My 2 boys recorded a reading of Baldar and the Mistletoe, and oh my goodness, it turned out so beautifully. This is an old winter tale woven through love and fate and family and the bittersweet magic of the season. And hearing it told in their voices just made it feel even more meaningful to me. There's just something about that story, actually perfect for Yule that we are talking about today. The softness, the heartbreak, the promise tucked inside, and having my boys bring it to life under the full moon felt just like the perfect way to honor this season of returning light. If you have not watched it yet, I would love for you to take a peek. It is also in the Hearth and Hen section of Patreon, and it is truly one of my favorite things we've created together this month. And here we are, the middle of December, getting ready for Yule. I don't know about you, but the energy around Yule this year feels deeper, a little quiet, A little sparkly at the edges, like, frost catching that first hint of morning light. It's giving a, lantern glowing on a snow-dusted forest path type of vibe for me. Just waiting for us to wander in and see what is waiting there. I don't know, maybe it's because of the dragon spirit energy we are working with over in Patreon, that fierce, transformative, heart of the fire kind of magic. Now, maybe it's the collective exhale we are all finally taking after a long, intense year. I don't know, maybe it's the way the darkness feels just a little softer right now. More like a cocoon than a cave. I don't know, maybe, just maybe, Yule is asking us to experience it differently this time. To slow down, to listen closer, to pay attention to the sensations. To feel the season instead of sprinting through it. Whatever the reason is, this year feels like it is carrying a message. One wrapped in warmth and shadow and just the tiniest bit of glittering mystery. And I'm really excited to explore that with you today. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. We are not just talking about Yule. Today we are going to walk it together. And I'm going to do something new next week too. Usually when talking about a celebration like Yule, I tie a portion of the topic into the turning point on our Wheel of the Year. But I am not today. That is actually coming next week because I want to give that topic the full space it deserves and also talk about the journey the wheel brought to us for 2025. So if you are the type who loves lessons, the reflections, the wow, I actually grew this year, even though it felt like a cosmic dumpster fire half the time. So yeah, that's coming. That is what we will be closing out 2025 with on the 31st. But today we are going to sink into the heart of Yule itself. Not really the facts and the bullet points. I've done that in years past. This time we're going like sensory, immersive, witchier than ever. We are going to explore Yule through the body, through the breath, through that slow winter magic that kind of curls around you like a warm blanket. Because Yule is not just a sabbat on the calendar. It really is a feeling. It is the hush after the longest night. It is the comfort of firelight. It is the sweetness of cinnamon and cloves and pine resin warming in a candle. It is that very first tiny spark of returning light after months of shadow work and late night journaling, and you know what? Trying to keep ourselves grounded in a chaotic season. So, before we wander down this snowy path together, go ahead and get yourself comfy because this episode is meant to feel like, sitting beside me at a winter hearth, a place where the world softens for a moment, a place where you get to remember that magic doesn't just live on your altar. It lives in your senses, your memories, in the warmth of whatever you choose to hold close. All right, my witchy work wishes family, let's open that door. Let's step into Yule, and let's begin with what Yule really feels like. Yule is more than just a date on the wheel of the year. It really is a sensation. It's a pulse, a shift in the air you can almost taste if you slow down enough. Yule is that quiet moment when the world feels suspended. It is the longest night, holding us gently, saying, hey, rest, just for a little while longer. It is the soft glow of candles in windows, and the way pine needles smell sharper in cold air, and even how the moon seems to hang lower and closer, like she's checking in on us. And I think that's where I would like to go today with you. Not the usual, Yule bullet points, not the basic correspondences that we've all memorized, but the feeling of Yule, the feeling of the correspondences. The way this season touches our senses, the way it sits inside our chest, the way the magic of midwinter shows up in places we sometimes forget to look. Imagine that we are going to take a gentle winter walk together, crunching snow under our boots, seeing our breath in little puffs of white, feeling the hush of the world settling all around us. Because I think that's where Yule begins. Not on the calendar, but in the body, in the way the season feels. And today, I would love to step more fully into that feeling with you and talk about what Yule really brings forward beneath the traditions, beneath the obligations, beneath the noise. Today is going to be about what Yule really feels like. Yule, at its core, is a season of feeling. Not the hustle, not the pressure, not the glossy holiday perfection we see splashed everywhere this time of year. It is something quieter, something older, something that moves through us in a way that's almost instinctual, like our spirit recognizes this moment long, long before our mind actually does. Yule feels like stepping into a room that's been waiting for you all year. It's dimly lit, it's warm, it's familiar, and it is humming with a comfort that you can't quite put words into. It is the soft crackle of a candle on your altar. It is the way a blanket feels heavier on a winter night. It is the scent of cinnamon or pine drifting through your home like a gentle invitation to slow down. It is that gorgeous paradox where the world is at its darkest, and yet the magic feels brightest. For us, for witches, this season carries a different kind of awareness. We feel the turning point of the sun deep in our bones, don't we? We feel the stillness of the earth as she rests. We feel the invitation to pause and regroup, to nestle into our own inner world. And I don't know, maybe that's the most important part of Yule, the moment where the wheel whispers. You don't have to be anything other than held. There is something profoundly soothing about acknowledging the longest night. It is the cosmic permission slip to release, to rest, to reset, to let yourself be exactly where you are. Tired, hopeful, nostalgic, fragile, inspired, whatever your version of this season looks like. Yule feels like remembering your own light, even if it's small, even if it flickers, even if you are not sure what you are carrying into the new year yet. That little glimmer inside of you that refuses to go out, well, that's Yule. That is the sun returning in your chest. And I think the world reflects it back to us in the sweetest ways. We see it in the glow of lights on houses, the hush of early evenings, the way people reach for warmth. Warm drinks, warm blankets, warm company. It is all a spell of togetherness and comfort, cast by the season itself. And emotionally, Yule is the great exhale, the softened edges, the moment your heart loosens just a little after holding so much all year long. You might find memories rising, old Yules, old holidays, old versions of yourself. You might feel a pull towards your family, or maybe your chosen family. You might crave solitude, gentleness, or that reflective silence only midwinter can bring. Yule is a threshold, not quite the past, not quite the future, just this powerful pause where you get to exist in between. And in that in between space, there's magic, there's clarity, there is comfort. And that is why Yule feels so deeply sacred, because it is one of the few times the earth, the sky, the season, and our spirits all agree on one thing. Slow down, soften your breath, and let a little light return. All right, let's wander into the correspondences of the season, but not the usual lists or quick explanations. Today, I would love to do something different and go full sensory story. Let's turn these correspondences into a living, breathing winter world you can step right into. Okay, go ahead and settle into your seat a little more. Let your breath fall into a slow rhythm, And picture this with me. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a winter forest. The world is quiet in that soft, velvety way only December can create, where the air feels thick with possibility, and every sound seems to echo just a little longer than usual. Snow rests on the branches above you, and a single lantern glows on a wooden post, casting a warm circle of light onto the path. This is Yule. This is the place where the veil of winter thins just enough for us to feel the magic underneath everything. And today we are walking into that magic together. So go ahead, take a step onto the snowy path with me. Hear the crunch under your boots, feel the cold bite at your cheeks, but also notice how the air doesn't feel empty. It feels alive. It feels a little enchanted, like the forest itself recognizes you and is quietly thrilled that you showed up. As we move deeper into this Yule path, the correspondences of the season begin to appear, not as lists or memorized facts, but as living moments all around us. First, you notice the colors of Yule, not on a chart, but glowing from the world itself. Red appears as a warm ember resting inside a hollowed tree stump. It pulses softly, kind of like a heartbeat, the color of life and love, the spark that refuses to go out even in the deepest darkness. You feel its warmth on your skin, the way it stirs something brave in your chest. Green surrounds you in the tall evergreens, their needles holding the scent of ancient forests. Their guardians, standing watch all winter long. Their energy says you are protected, you are rooted, you are not alone. And then you notice gold, not shiny or flashy, but soft, subtle. It glimmers where moonlight touches snow, promising that the sun will rise again, that the warmth will return, that cycles turn even when we can't feel them yet. Finally, white, the pure crystal type calm of fresh snow. It is the color of clarity, of beginnings, of quiet intention. It invites you to breathe deeper, think slower, and treat yourself gently. Each color you pass isn't just a correspondence, it's a sensation, it's a message. As you continue walking, the air shifts. A blend of scents drift in like invisible spells. First comes cinnamon. It's warm and comforting. It curls around you like a scarf, encouraging joy and passion and that spark of inner fire. It whispers, "Remember your light." Then pine, sharp and crisp and clarifying. It smells like clean air, new beginnings, and protective energy rising from the earth itself. It makes your lungs feel a little more open, a little more alive. A gentle breeze brings the sweetness of orange peel, bright and uplifting. It smells like a smile in scent form, reminding you that Yule isn't just about darkness. It is about hope peeking through. Then there's rosemary. Oh, rosemary, the herb of memory and release. The scent wraps around you like the soft hand of an ancestor. It brings forward what is worth remembering, and it lets fade what you no longer need to carry into the new year. And finally, a hint of clove, grounding, steady, strong, like the earth beneath snow, holding everything in place until spring. You breathe in these scents, and suddenly you are not walking through a forest. You are walking through the heart of Yule magic. A little farther ahead, the path begins to sparkle. Not with ice, but with stones peeking up through the snow. You crouch down and lift the very first one. It's garnet, glowing like a coal still holding heat. It radiates grounding courage and that slow building energy that grows quietly in the dark. Next is a shard of clear quartz, frosted by the cold. It hums in your hand with clarity and amplification, like fresh snow that makes everything look brighter, cleaner, and sharper. Then you notice adventuring, that deep green stone with flecks of forest magic. It feels like the heartbeat of nature in winter, steady and patient and just waiting beneath the surface. And finally, a piece of smoky quartz sits beside a tree root. It looks like wood smoke in crystal form, perfect for clearing old energy and grounding your spirit. Each stone feels like a winter ally, offering the exact energy Yule carries forward. Up ahead, the trees open into a small clearing, and in the center is a stone circle with a gentle fire burning in the middle. The flames, they're not really large or roaring, they're more comforting and inviting, the kind that you can sit beside and talk to. The fire pops softly, sending sparks upward like tiny golden wishes. And this, right here, is the heart of Yule magic, the return of the sun. The longest night is behind us, light is growing again, and this flame symbolizes the promise of renewal. You warm your hands at the fire, feeling the heat just sink into your bones. The candle appears beside you, gold at the base, white at the top. A perfect Yule candle. When you light it, the flame mirrors the sun rising within you. Fire, in this moment, is both comfort and transformation, both rest and rebirth. As you stand, the clearing shifts, revealing small scenes, the kind that remind you Yule magic doesn't only live in forest or rituals. You see someone stirring their morning coffee clockwise, setting an intention without saying a word. You see a wreath hung on a door, protection and welcome woven into one circle. You see someone wrapping a gift with care, enchantment in every fold of the paper. You see twinkling holiday lights, a modern echo of ancient bonfires calling the sun home. And you realize Yule magic is already alive in your everyday life, in your home, in your habits, in your smallest acts of warmth and kindness. And all these little moments, they're spells, they're quiet ones, they're simple ones, but they're powerful. The fire dims softly, and the forest around you seems to nod in approval. You've walked through the colors, the scents, the stones, the flames, and the everyday enchantments of Yule, not as concepts, but as living energies. As you step back towards the lantern at the entrance of the forest, the air feels different. It's lighter, it's warmer, like something inside of you has shifted just a little. It's opened just a little. It has softened just a little. Because that's what Yule does. It brings us home to ourselves. With this winter walk warm in your chest, let's talk about what Yule magic looks like for the modern witch, the busy witch, the witch doing their best in a world that does not slow down when the wheel asks us to. Let's bring things back into our real, messy, wonderfully ordinary lives. Because as much as I would love to spend all December wandering through enchanted forests, most of us are working, commuting, juggling deadlines, family stuff, gift lists, end of year chaos, and a whole lot of, oh my gosh, wait, why is it almost January type energy? Yule might be magical, but real life is, it's real life. So I would love to talk about Yule magic for the busy witch, the witch who's doing their best, who maybe feels a little stretched thin, who wants to stay connected to their practice but doesn't always have an hour to sit at their altar. And listen, if that's you, yeah, you're not failing at witchcraft. You are being a human witch, and that is the best kind. So let's talk about some ways you can weave Yule energy into your everyday life without adding pressure or expectation. These aren't big rituals or, those like multi-step ceremonies. They are little whispers of magic that you can fit into your day like puzzle pieces. The first one is just some tiny desk magic. If you are spending your days in an office or even your home office, I've got a few small things that can carry some pretty big Yule energy. First one is just keep a sprig of pine or rosemary near your keyboard. It's protective, calming, and it smells like winter magic in plant form. Next is just to light a seasonal candle before you start your work, even if you've only got 30 seconds. Fire at Yule is symbolic enough that the act is the spell. We can also add a tiny crystal to our workplace. Little garnet, some smoky quartz, even clear quartz is going to give you energy and just that subtle lift all day long. And lastly, for our tiny desk magic, we can just set a Yule intention when we log in. Something simple like, today I move through my work with warmth and clarity. That's it. That's magic. That counts. Busy working witches can also do a gentle boundary spell for that holiday overwhelm sensations. We all know December brings a lot. People need things, deadlines appear, plans shift, emotions swirl. Here's a simple boundary enchantment you can do anywhere. When you feel overwhelmed, just picture a soft circle of golden light around your body. Not a wall, not like a shield, just a warm bubble, like candlelight. Inside the circle is your peace. Outside is everything that can wait. Whisper to yourself, only what is meant for me enters here. It works surprisingly well. Busy working witches can also use the season's scents as daily magic. You don't need a huge ritual. Sometimes a scent is enough to shift your whole energy. A cinnamon broom near the front door, a pine sachet in your car, a drop of orange essential oil on your wrist. These little moments ground you right back into Yule magic, even when you're moving super fast. Busy working wishes can stir morning coffee with intention. Whether, and it doesn't have to be coffee, it can be tea, cocoa, your magical moon mead, whatever it is. You can cast a spell in 5 seconds here. Stir clockwise and think, light is returning, so is my energy. Then drink it in like you mean it. Busy working witches can also have a Yule email blessing. And okay, yeah, this one is very witchy work wishes-esque. I swear it works though. Before you send an email, pause for half of a breath and imagine a tiny spark of golden light riding along it. That spark carries clarity and kindness and good communication. It helps smooth misunderstandings and lighten the energy. A modern witch's sigil, really hidden in plain sight. Busy working witches can also do an end of day candle reset. I think we all love this one, right? When we get home, when we're done working, light a candle, even for a moment, and say, what I carried today stays here. What I need moves with me. That's it. That's the whole ritual. Yule is a season of returning light, and you get to choose where that light shines. Busy working witches also have the permission to rest. Really, that's going to be our most important spell of the season, right? Yule marks the longest night, and the earth uses that night to rest. So, if you feel tired, slow, quiet, emotional, reflective, that does not mean you are off track. It means you are aligned with the season. A witch resting in winter is a witch practicing, and the world won't probably tell you that, but I will. I will tell you, you don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to justify your quiet. You don't have to push yourself through every moment of December. If the earth can pause, so can you. And honestly, it's sacred. Now that we've wandered through the sensory world of Yule and talked about how to weave that magic into our busy days, I would love to bring us into a quieter little moment together. Something simple, something soothing, and something you can return to anytime December feels too loud or too fast. As we settle into this softer, slower Yule energy, I would just like to walk you through a little Yule blessing ritual that you can do anytime. Morning, night, at your altar, even in your car. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing overwhelming. It's just a moment of warmth and magic for your spirit. Think of this as a Yule hearth moment, a tiny ritual of warmth and returning light that is offered just for you. If you are in a place where you can grab a candle, really any color, any scent, any size. If you're driving, working, folding laundry, no worries. Just imagine the flame. That's more than enough. Take in a slow breath and let it fall out naturally. Picture yourself standing in front of a small hearth. It's not real big, it's not super fancy, it's warm and welcoming. The kind of fire that crackles softly and makes you just instantly exhale. This hearth represents your inner light, the part of you that stays warm and bright even when life feels cold and heavy. It is the ember that Yule protects and nurtures. If you have a candle, go ahead and light it now. If not, imagine that flame rising in front of you. As it flickers, repeat softly in your mind, "Here is my light, steady, warm, glowing." Feel the truth of that settle in your chest. Now place your hand over your heart, or if you're really busy, just imagine it. Let the warmth of your palm meet the warmth rising inside of you. Breathe in, breathe out, and with each inhale, imagine the flame growing slightly brighter. Not dramatically, but like just enough. Just the gentle kind of brightening that feels like hope is stretching its arms after a long, long sleep. Now whisper, "I honor the rest. I welcome the return. I carry my light forward." Let that echo inside you for a moment. Let it sit in whatever part of your spirit needs it the most. Yule reminds us that even in the darkest point of the year, the light is already on its way back. And so are you. Whenever you need grounding this season, whenever you feel overwhelmed or disconnected, whenever the world feels too loud, this little hearth moment is here for you. A return to your warmth, a reminder of your resilience. It's a soft space to land. And when you're ready, gently blow out your candle or release the image of the flame, knowing that the light remains inside you. And take one last slow breath, letting it fill you with that Yule steadiness we've been talking about today. One of my favorite pieces of Yule lore is the Yule log. This tradition is ancient, older than, honestly, most written language, older than most of the stories we know. It is one of the most powerful symbols of midwinter magic. So picture this. It is centuries ago. It's deep winter, the longest night. Families gather around a massive, massive hearth, not just for warmth, but for hope. Because the Yule log wasn't simply wood, it was a prayer, a spell, a promise to the returning sun. In Scandinavian and Germanic traditions, the Yule log was often a whole tree trunk. And when I say whole tree trunk, like an entire tree, chosen with intention, decorated with greenery, and carved with runes, and then slowly burned through the longest night. The idea was that the fire from the log represented the sun being reborn, its light growing again, just like spark by spark. Every crackle was a blessing, every spark was a wish, every ember was a reminder that even in darkness, warmth survives. And the beautiful part, the family would save a piece of the charred log to light the next year's Yule log, symbolizing continuity, lineage, the unbroken thread of light. That ember was believed to protect the home all year long. Isn't that amazing? A literal piece of last year's magic carrying into the new cycle. It gives me chills every time. And if you have been with me for a while, you know that is a tradition my boys and I started with our own family. Now, different cultures had their own twist to the Yule log. Celtic traditions often decorated the log with holly and ivy, sometimes seasonal fruits. Some households used ashes from the Yule log in protective charms. Others believed the direction of sparks popping up from the log could predict the coming year, prosperity, storms, fertility, or protection. The Yule log was never just a fire, though. It really was a ritual of rebirth, of memory, of connection to the land, to ancestors, and to the sun itself. And I think that's why modern witches still feel drawn to it, because it represents the eternal cycle of light returning, no matter how long the nights feel. But how? How can we bring this into our world, the modern witch world? Because most of us do not have giant stone hearths or a tree trunk lying around, and that's okay. Witchcraft evolves, magic adapts, and I've got a couple modern ways to work with Yule log energy. The first one really is just a mini candle Yule log. You can use a small wooden log and drill 3 holes for taper candles. Traditionally, white, red, and green, but honestly, choose what speaks to you, right? Decorate it with pine and cinnamon sticks, dried oranges, and rosemary. Light the candles and say a small intention like, as this flame grows, so does my light. That's enough, truly. Keep it simple. We can also do a fireplace or fire pit ritual. If you do have a fireplace or an outdoor fire pit, toss in a small log or even a stick you've decorated with herbs. Let each crackle be a release or, like a hope for the new year. We also have something for our apartment witches. No fire? No problem. Use an LED candle on a wooden tray decorated with winter greens. Or arrange tea lights in a line representing the sun rising. The symbolism is the spell. We also can do a save a spark tradition. Pick one tiny moment from this Yule that felt warm. A conversation, a memory, a meal, a peaceful moment, and write it down on a slip of paper. Put it somewhere safe. This becomes your ember to carry you into next year. We've also got a little kitchen witch version, if you guys are up for that, for our Yule log. We can actually bake a Yule log cake. Now, I have done this a couple of times. It is a process, but it brings an amazing reward once done. Roll it with intention, decorate it with joy, slice into it as an act of sharing warmth with others. Food is magic, right? We've also just got a nice work witch spell. If you are celebrating Yule during a work week, take a moment on your break. Close your eyes. Picture a small flame inside your chest, one you protect, one you feed, one you honor. That flame is your Yule log. I believe the magic of the Yule log tradition, whatever form or fashion you make it into, it isn't about the size of the log or the grandeur of the ritual. It really is about what it represents, right? Light returning, hope glowing, warmth surviving. Your inner flame refusing to go out. And whether you burn a real log or you whisper to an imaginary flame, you are stepping into the same ancient magic witches have honored for thousands of winters. That's powerful. That's sacred. That is entirely yours. Yule is not just the return of light. It really is the turning of the wheel. This is the point on the wheel of the year where everything shifts, even if we don't feel it right away. The sun pauses, really holds its breath with us, and then begins to rise again, degree by tiny little degree. And whether we realize it or not, our spirits respond. Something inside us stirs, it stretches, it reaches forward just a little bit. But Yule isn't the reflection type episode. Yule is a spark, the promise, the deep inhale before we look back on the journey we've taken. And that 2025 journey, yeah, we're going to talk about it next week. Because next week we are doing an end of year type ritual and a check-in with the wheel of the year. A moment to sit together and say, what did this year ask of us? What did we learn? What did we let go of? Where did we grow without even noticing? I know we talked about that a bunch last week, but our last episode of the year is going to tie our calendar journey into the wheel of the year journey and what pieces of ourselves we are going to carry into the next turn of the wheel. We'll revisit the energies we've pulled throughout the year, the themes that showed up again and again, and the magic that shaped our path in ways only hindsight can reveal. A moment where we get to honor both the bright days and the shadowed ones. But today, for right now, I would love for you to rest in the warmth of Yule, in the softness, in the stillness, in the tiny spark inside you that just refuses to go out, no matter how long the night has been. You've made it through another year. You are still here. Your light is still burning. And I am so very grateful to walk this path with you. I do have a poem, a Yule poem for today, and the moon update for this week. I will go grab those notes, and I will be right back. All right, let's start with our Yule poem, and it goes. In the hush of winter's longest night, a spark awakens, soft and bright. It flickers where the shadows lie, a whispered promise to the sky. Through forest paths and evergreen, where ancient magic hums unseen, we walk with candles in our hands, and feel the pulse of slumbering lands. The cinnamon air, the pine sweet cold, the stories winter loves to hold, all gather round like friends who know how stillness helps a witch to grow. The Yule log burns with embered grace, a sun reborn within its place. Each crackle sends a wish on high, a golden spark across the sky. And though our lives are full and fast, this season softens all that's past. A moment carved from breath and flame, to rest, renew, and call our name. For Yule reminds us light returns. In quiet ways our spirit learns. A glow within, a hearth, a start, the tiniest sun inside the heart. So take this night and hold it dear. Let comfort wrap around your year. May hope grow strong, may worries cease, and may your winter bloom with peace. And as the wheel begins to turn, may every spark you tend and burn become the light that guides your way, a witch's dawn on Yule's soft day. The moon this week, she is almost dark right now. And for Yule this weekend, on Sunday the 21st, it will be a new moon. Like, come on, you guys, this is so perfect. Yule plus dark moon plus new moon, that is a trifecta of deep winter magic. And the energy is unlike any other point on the wheel of the year. When Yule arrives hand in hand with both the dark moon ending and the new moon beginning, I don't know, you guys, the energy just becomes something incredibly rare and deeply magical. Kind of cosmic alignment that invites us into a full body reset. Yule, by itself, is already one of the most tender and symbolic points on the wheel of the year. It's the moment the sun is reborn after the longest night, and the moment the earth whispers, "The light is coming." It's soft sunrise magic, gentle glow magic, that feeling of hope returning even if it's only a flicker. But layered beneath that warmth is the dark moon, the moonless sky, the sacred pause, the deep exhale that happens before any new beginning can even think about forming. The dark moon asks us to release, to surrender, to make peace with what we are ready to let go of. It's not dramatic or heavy. It's more of that quiet honesty. It's allowing ourselves to acknowledge what did not work, what we've outgrown, or even what we simply do not want to carry into the next cycle. And then the new moon rises right behind it, the first tiny glimmer of lunar light returning, mirroring the rebirth of the sun. The new moon brings seed energy, right? That dream energy, the soft internal spark of intentions that are still forming. Not big manifestations, not loud goals, not pressure, but gentle beginnings, whispered desires, the little tender roots of who we are becoming. So when you pull all three of these together, the dark moon and the new moon and Yule, I think we get this beautiful layered rhythm of release, rest, renewal, and rebirth. It is not the kind of magic that asks you to push or perform. This is, like that womb type magic, hearth magic, seed under snow magic. It is the perfect moment for emotional clearing, some spiritual housekeeping, and calling your energy back home. It is a time to honor your own exhaustion, to honor your own transformation, and to honor the part of you that has been quietly keeping the flame alive through every dark, confusing moment of the year. This energy supports gentle cord cutting, light protection spells, some quiet journaling, dream work for sure, boundary setting for sure, and intention setting that is rooted not in ambition, but truth. Yule says your light is returning. The dark moon says, let go so it has space to grow. And the new moon? Well, the new moon says, start small, start softly, start with the whisper in your chest. Together, they create a powerful invitation to breathe, to reset, to recalibrate your spirit, and step into the next turn of the wheel with clarity, with some softness, and just a little bit of wonder. It is one of the most sacred energetic combinations we get all year, a moment where Earth, sky, and the cosmos all agree that it is time to rest and time to rise again. Before we wrap up today, I would love to take a moment to say thank you, truly, for spending part of your day, your evening, your car ride, your walk, your cozy morning coffee, whatever you are doing, but that you're spending it here with me. I know December is a whirlwind for so many of us, and the fact that you choose to come back each week to sit in the space, to explore magic and meaning and softness with me, it really means more than I can ever fully put into words. You are the heartbeat of Witchy Work Wishes. Your presence, your support, your curiosity, your willingness to walk this path with me. It keeps this whole little podcast world glowing. And I hope today's Yule episode wrapped you in warmth. I hope it brought you a little comfort, a little wonder, a little something to hold on to as we move through this season of darkness and returning light. Everything we talked about today, the sensory magic, the quiet rituals, the Yule log, the energy of rebirth, all of it is meant to support you, to nourish you, and to remind you that you are never, ever walking this path alone. Now, next week, we are doing our Wheel of the Year wrap up. It is our chance to look back at the energies we've pulled, the lessons we've learned, the challenges we've worked through, and the magic that has woven itself into our year, whether we realized it or not. It's going to be reflective. It is grounding. It's going to be emotional in the best way, though. And it sets the tone for how we step into the new year together. And it is all tied into the Wheel of the Year. So I hope you will join me again next week. Bring your tea, bring your journal, bring your cozy blanket, and be ready to take a gentle walk through the Wheel of the Year and the light that we are going to be carrying forward. It is going to be a powerful moment, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Until then, take care of your heart, tend to that little flame inside of you, and let this Yule season wrap around you like a warm blanket. I hope this dark moon that we are stepping into right now gives you exactly the release and rest your spirit has been craving. I hope the new moon and the Yule celebration this weekend meet you gently, nourish you deeply, and bring you the kind of magic that lingers. I can't wait to sit with you again next week as we walk through our Wheel of the Year together. I hope the new moon and the Yule celebration this weekend meet you gently, nourish you deeply, and bring you the kind of magic that just lingers. I will talk with you next week. Thank you for joining me today at Witchy Work Wishes, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. For more information and additional content, please visit me online at witchyworkwishes.com. If you want to send me a personal note, please email me at info@witchyworkwishes.com. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Witchy Work Wishes.